Yeah, so this is me at like 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. And nowadays, I'll dance with my husband. And if it's a more structured kind of dance, like salsa, I'll dance with other men. But yeah, back in the day, I would. But what happened is that we'd be all dancing, right? And I'd look over at the wall, and I would see all these good-looking white boys, some of them my friends, against the wall. Like good-looking white boys. They got dressed for the dance, and but they're just up against the wall. And they're watching all of us. And I'm like, this isn't right. All these brown boys get to get near these girls and have some fun. Like, this isn't right. And so, so, so I just start. So I would just start dancing up to the. I'd pick the cutest one, of course, and then I would like, start dancing up to them. And the whole time I'm dancing, and I make eye contact with them, and they're like, no, oh no. I'm like, no, you know you wanna, you know you wanna. I'm like, look at all that, look at all those guys getting near these girls, having some fun. So I like start dancing up to them, and they look like they just want the wall to just come out and grab them, snatch them in. I'm like, come on, you know you wanna, you know you want. And so I'm like, I'm still dancing. And then eventually I'll just take their hands. And they try to pull away. But now I got the vibe through their hands and I'm still dancing. I'm still dancing, but now I got their hands. And then I start pulling them to the dance floor. And I don't break eye contact with them. I'm just like, come on, come on, come on. And the other guys like are looking at us and they're cheesing, they're smiling, they're like, and like I'm aware of them looking, but I'm not going over there. And um, I notice get interrupted. Anyway, what it would also do is get some of the girls to come up and do what I was doing and bring some of these white boys on the dance floor. And I get on the dance floor, they're still like terrified. Like, okay. So I just keep dancing. The whole thing is I'm just keeping it chill, keeping it relaxed. And I bring them to the middle of the dance floor, and then I put their hand on my waist. I said, put your hands on my waist, and then I put my hands on their shoulders. And they're like, oh, I could get used to this, and like it was great. It got them to dance. It got other girls to get these white guys glued to the wall on the dance floor. I was like, dude, you came here, right? You came here, and also girls, girls. I get it. I get the guy's supposed to kind of come up to you and you attract them, but obviously these guys need encouragement and they're cute. Here's the other thing. I never went to any after parties or anything like that. I never did that. I always well, I saw what it did to my girlfriends and so I just avoided it like the plague. I'm talking about just having fun. And here's the thing, like the sexual dynamic between men and women is always going to be there. It's it's a central force of how we continue, you know, and you have to have ways to work it out, deal with it, you know, outside of sex. You need to and dance. That's why I've always participated in dance, with guys, because because it allowed me to be involved with men in a way that was, kind of sexually, but in a way that wasn't invasive, you know, or immoral, or dangerous. In every culture, there is either currently or a history of dance, like social dance and customary dance, religious dance. And it's customarily it's the women. It's the women who um women are supposed to be the ones moving, you know, getting our getting all dressed up, and looking pretty and then dance and then attract the men, encourage the men to participate with us. You have to deal with the sexual dynamic between men and women in a healthy way. Obviously, it should go without saying, it unravels quickly and it gets bad very quickly. Uh, the reason why I mentioned why I never went to after parties and everything like that, because to me that's a very important aspect of it. You know, um, keeping those boundaries. And you know what it did? It allowed me to have these more sexual dynamics. Um, well, without crossing boundaries, without being immoral, and breaking what I knew was right.